Your Honor.
Senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of myself and Senator Ernst, I send a question to the desk for Mr. Nadler and Mr. Philbin.
The question from Senator Kennedy and Senator Ernst for both parties, the House managers will be first. If a president asks for an investigation of possible corruption by a political rival under circumstances that objectively are in the national interest, should the president be impeached if a majority of the House believes the president did it for the wrong reason?
The president, of course, is entitled to conduct our foreign policy, is entitled to look into corruption in the United States or elsewhere, is entitled to use the Department of State or any other department for that purpose. He is not entitled to target an American citizen specifically, nor did he do so innocently here. It was only after Mr. Biden became an announced candidate for president that he suddenly decided the Ukraine ought to look into the Bidens. And he made it very clear that he wasn't interested in an investigation. He was interested in an announcement of an investigation just so the Bidens could be smeared. So it's probably never suitable for a president to order an investigation of an American citizen. If he thinks there's general corruption and there's an investigation ongoing, the Justice Department can certainly ask a foreign government for assistance in that investigation. But that wasn't done here. The president specifically targeted an individual with an obvious political motive. And I would simply say that that is so clear that there's no question that it was a political motive against specific individuals. There are about 1.8 million companies in Ukraine. The estimates were that half of them were corrupt. The president chose one, the one with Mr. Biden.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chief Justice, Senators, thank you for the question. I think the short answer is no, the president should not be impeached. And I think the focus of the question is getting at to a situation of mixed motives, which has come up a couple times here. If the president is chief law enforcement officer, head of the executive branch, is in a situation where there is a legitimate investigation to be pursued, and he indicates that it should be pursued, is it possible that he should be impeached for that if there's some dispute about his motives where there is a legitimate basis for that conduct? And the answer is no. And the House managers themselves, in the way they frame their case, have recognized this. In the House Judiciary Committee report, they repeatedly say that the standard they're going to have to meet, they're going to have to show that these are sham investigations. These are baseless investigations that they're alleging that the president wanted to initiate, and that they had no legitimate, there was not any legitimate basis for pursuing the investigation. I'm pretty sure that's page 5 of the House Judiciary Committee report. And they use that standard, and they've talked about there not being a scintilla of evidence about anything that anyone could reasonably want to ask about related to the Bidens and Burisma, because they know that they can't get into a mixed motive scenario, because if you have a legitimate basis for asking a question about something, if there is a legitimate national interest there, it's totally unacceptable to start getting into the field of saying, well, we're going to impeach the president and remove him from office by putting him on the psychiatrist's couch and trying to get inside his head to find out, was it 48% this motive and 52% the other, or did he have some other rationale? No, if it's a legitimate inquiry in the national interest, that's the end of it. And you can't be saying that we're going to impeach the president, remove him from office, decapitate the executive branch of the government, disrupt the functioning of the government of the country in an election year by trying to parse out subjective motives and which percentage of the motive was this good motive or some other motive, something like that. If it's a legitimate inquiry in the national interest, if that possibility is there, if the national interest is there, that's the end of it. Thank you.